My background in Farrier goes way, way back to my childhood. I grew up in a Farrier family, and so I grew up in the business. And I was just a horse crazy kid, and never got over it. It never left me. And I've been in this business all my life. I don't know anything else. I don't want to know anything else. I've always told people that you have to love what you do, and I love what I do. It's not like it's not working. It's working, really. I can't. It's just life second to none. I've gotten more out of this profession of being a farrier than anything I've ever dreamed of. And I'm not talking about material gifts. I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about the friends that I've made, the people that I've met, the international exposure, and just all the education and learning. It's been a wonderful experience. Absolutely second to none.
Well, I grew up in Long Island, and I came from a big family, and my mother and her father and my brother, we were very horsey. The rest of the family wasn't. So I had a pony when I was 4 years old. And as I got bigger ponies and bigger horses. And I remember when blacksmith, Buster Van Wicklen, I'll never forget him. I even remember his name. I'd be 8, 9, 10 years old, and Buster would come, and he had a forge, and he would hot shoe the horses, and I would just be astounded. And the vet would come and just give shots, and I wouldn't pay any attention to him. But anyway. And so, as my life went along, I ended up in Colorado, and as I mentioned earlier, I had a horse and couldn't get a horseshoer. And so I just thought, because I was too stupid to know any better, gee, this looks so easy. I think I'll just go to school so I can do my horse, and then I won't have to worry about not finding a blacksmith. Never dreaming it would ever be more than just me doing my own horse. And as things progressed, people started asking me to shoe their horse, and so that developed. And over 7 or 8 years in Colorado, I did a lot of work. And then it was, July, August, or winter. So I said, look, I got a fish or cut bait here. I would like to go back to New York and work in my home country, and nobody would take me. From Massachusetts to Virginia, not one horseshoer would even think about letting me come in his truck and be an apprentice. I was heartbroken. I cried all the way back to Colorado. I was so despondent, and I was just forced to go to California. I did not want to go to California. That was going to take me now 3,000 miles away from my beloved family, one of 8, lots of cousins and aunts and uncles, and I love my family. And I really went kicking and screaming. And thank God, literally, the first week I was in California, I met Gates-Patton at the racetrack. And I went there to find someone to apprentice with. And he said, sure. I said, what? He said, yes. He was the first man who had said yes to me in years of really hard labor. So I stayed in California, and I've been there for 30 years, and I've had a career there. And I have to honestly say, I love the East. I go, every time I get on a plane, I go to New York. But I truly believe I could not have had the career I had except in California. There's something about the West that seems to allow weird people to sort of survive. And I love all parts of the country, and I love this industry. It's actually been quite an exciting career. Not only the work, the horses, fabulous. And I always felt like I was the servant to the horse. Always, that my job was that I was there humbly helping the horse. And I never thought about money. I expected to get paid, but I never worked for money. I worked because it was such an extraordinary business.
When I was 24 or so, I was sort of just rambling around trying to decide what to do. And I kind of wanted to teach, but I couldn't get a teaching job, and I saw somebody at a trade fair shoeing a horse, and he was demonstrating, so he took 4 pieces of steel and made shoes. I was sort of fascinated by it, so I went around with him, and then that just kept building on itself, and I went to a school, and then I apprenticed with a couple of people in the Southwest, and then business just grew, and I just, I loved it, and I felt like John said, that it was never like I was going to work. I never felt like, oh, I gotta go to work. And it's still that way to this day. Even though now I'm teaching 9 months a year, but I never feel like I'm going to a job or going to work. It's just been very exciting. But I ran that business there for 12 or 13 years, and then the teaching job opened up, and so I got to teach eventually, and it's just been wonderful. I really like all aspects, the horses, the people, and I really like, I've always liked the self-employment aspect. That it's very real. You do something and generally collect for that. And it's just straightforward. I think it's the greatest.